Hey everyone, I wanted to make a short guide on my method of pirate dreadnought freighter farming. I believe this is the quickest and easiest way to farm for freighters and farm freighters for resources, including S-Class freighter modules, and it doesn't even involve saving and reloading. Instead, we're going to look into at-war systems. There are a couple of methods I'm going to discuss which you can choose from based on your wants. Now, I highly suggest having a Corvette with a powerful weapon system, as it will make this process significantly faster, and I also highly recommend using the phase beam as your main starship weapon, as it melts through the dreadnought like a hot knife through butter. With just a couple S or X class upgrades, you can still do it with a regular starship too, it will just be a bit slower. Firstly, let's talk about at-war systems. You'll need to have discovered one of these systems in order to utilize this method. Any at-war system will do, however, if you're farming for high-class freighters, you will definitely want to spend time looking for a 3-star wealth at-war system. You can see the glyphs to the 3-star at-war system I use below. If you want to look for your own at-war system, you can simply install the conflict scanner onto your starship and begin your search. An at-war system will simply say at-war in the conflict section. Every time you warp to an at-war system, you will enter a fight between a pirate dreadnought and a civilian freighter. If you've not made it far enough into the story to have your first pirate freighter encounter, it'll likely trigger here, which will play out a bit differently, but once you complete that encounter and come back, things should play out in a predictable way. Every time you warp back to the system, you will encounter another freighter fight. There is no cooldown. This eliminates the need to save, reload while farming, and allows you to continue to accumulate rewards while using these farming methods. Now I'll start explaining the two methods. Method 1 involves actually farming for the freighters themselves. If you're looking to nab a high-class freighter for free, this is what you want to focus on. Every single time you defeat the freighter this way, you'll earn 600 to 900,000 units and the option to get an additional 6,767,000 units if you don't mind spending an extra 30 seconds or so of time each run. You'll also get 400 to 500 nanites. This number may be a little more or less sometimes, but I usually receive around this amount. You'll also get 4 to 9 standing with whatever race controls the galaxy. For the Oolong Ping galaxy that I'm using, this would be Korvax. And lastly, you get the chance to claim the defeated pirate dreadnought for free. For method 1, as soon as you warp into the system, you'll want to immediately target the thrusters at the back of the dreadnought. Always ensure you're within the shield of the dreadnought, or you'll just be shooting the shield and doing no damage at all. Once all 4 thrusters have been destroyed, you'll make your way to the top of the dreadnought, where there are 6 laser cannons to destroy next. Knock out the 5 in the back, then move to the front and take out the 6th. Once you've destroyed that 6th cannon, you should see the message, Dreadnought defeated, board to negotiate terms, or destroy for a large bounty. And at this point, you'll receive most of the rewards for defeating it. Now we're going to board. The landing bay is near the middle of the ship between the cannons in the front and back. Once you've docked, head to the hatch of the Corvette and open it. If you're not using a Corvette, just go ahead and board the Dreadnought. Once the hatch is open, you can use your scanner on the Dreadnought to see the class, cargo space, tech slots, and the value. But the value doesn't really matter since we're receiving the ship for free. If you like the ship and decide you want it, or if you want that extra 6.8 million units for defeating the ship, go ahead and board it. If you're not using a Corvette, your starship will just land inside of the freighter on one of the landing areas. Now take the portal to the bridge of the Dreadnought and speak to the captain. Here you have 2 options, seize the Dreadnought or demand tribute. The first option is pretty straightforward. You take control of the Dreadnought, again, for free. If you're not using a Corvette, here's where you can see the class, cargo, and value of the ship for the first time, since you weren't able to scan it earlier. The 2 numbers under the cost represent the amount of cargo space and the amount of tech slots on the Dreadnought. You're also able to see the ship's current installed tech and cargo. Prior to claiming the Dreadnought, if you already have a freighter, the next screen will compare your current ship to this one. And be aware that the cargo in your current freighter will not transfer to the new freighter, so ensure you get everything out of your current freighter before you claim another one. Now if you decide you don't want the freighter, you can simply exit the conversation. The second option, demand tribute, is where you'll get a flat 6,767,000 units for defeating the Dreadnought. If you've already got plenty of units and you want to minimize the time between runs looking for your freighter, don't even have to board the freighter. Simply land on the landing area, open your hatch, and scan the Dreadnought. If that Dreadnought isn't to your liking, hop back in the cockpit, leave the system, then warp right back and start over again. In a 3-star wealth system, your chances of finding an S-Class freighter are 3%, so don't expect to find an S-Class right off the bat. Now for Method 2, which involves destroying the Dreadnought instead of making it surrender. This yields the unique resource of S-Class freighter modules. The rewards are mostly the same, but the upside is this takes less time per run, and you get a random S-Class freighter module every time, which makes this the fastest method of farming S-Class freighter modules by a huge margin, at least to my knowledge. The downsides are that you don't have the option to demand tribute to get that extra 6.8 million units, and you can't claim the Dreadnought since, well, you blew it up. For Method 2, as soon as you warp in, you want to instead head to one of the 2 cutout areas on the back of the freighter. These 2 cutout areas are where the shield generators are located. You want to immediately go through the area and destroy all the shield generators. Once that side is finished, which you can tell by the blue shield bar at the top being right at 50%, you'll hop over to the other side and do the exact same thing, destroying all of the shield generators over there. Once all the shield generators are destroyed, you'll see the message, "Shield generators destroyed, Dreadnought vulnerable." Now's the easy part. You just keep damaging the ship anywhere until you destroy it. The Dreadnought will try to flee, but as long as you have an even moderately decent weapon system, you should destroy it before it gets anywhere close to warping away. Once the Dreadnought is destroyed, you'll immediately receive the rewards, and you can then warp away and repeat the process as many times as you'd like. I hope this video helped you out a bit. If there's any more info you'd like to add, feel free to leave it in the comments to help out other travelers. Thank you so much for watching.